Are you hungry?
Give me something good.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of Görgött. Tonight, well, it's night outside, we're making dirty chicken thighs. And it's, if you followed the channel for a long time, you know I have good friends in Vienna that run a couple of Japanese-inspired restaurants. And they just brought out their second cookbook. And it's a recipe in there called Dirty Wings. I'll put a link to the cookbook in the description, but it's only in German, unfortunately. But for those of you who do speak German, it's a great cookbook. It's a chicken wing recipe, but I'm not making it with wings. I'm making it with chicken thighs because I prefer that. I don't mind wings, but I like chicken thighs more, and it's more meat. So we're going to make dirty chicken thighs. But before we have a look at the ingredients, please do me a huge favor. Support the channel by clicking the subscribe button and checking the bell icon. That will allow you to get notifications every Tuesday when a new episode is online. But now, let's have a look at the ingredients. So we obviously have our chicken thighs. I asked the butcher to remove the bones already. Saves you a bit of work. Then we have here, for the dirty sauce, some Gochugaru and some Gochujang. So chili flakes and chili paste, Korean. We have some white pepper. We have some maple syrup, a bit of sesame oil, dark sesame oil, 1 clove of garlic, some salt, some soy sauce, some rice vinegar, some sugar, and a bit of starch. In this case, cornstarch, but you could use potato or rice. Any starch works. And we have coriander. And first, we'll get going with the dirty sauce. So we'll start out with our garlic. We're going to need a scale. I like this cookbook because everything is in grams. So we're going to need a scale. But take your garlic clove, grate it or chop it finely. But I prefer to grate it. Try not to grate my fingertips. Get this brush because it's the easiest way of getting it off. And this you don't need to weigh. And now we go ingredient by ingredients. You need 10 grams of the chili flakes. That was 15. I was too fast for the scale. Still 11. Ah, you see? The dry stuff we don't have to weigh. There we're at 10. And now we need 40 grams of gochujang. 36. I mean, you don't have to be as exact, but since I'm doing the recipe, I'm doing the recipe. I'm not exact anyways, it's 41 grams. Zero it out. 40 grams of soy sauce. There we are. Now we need 15 grams of dark sesame oil. There we are. Zero out and 30 grams of sugar. Thirty grams of maple syrup. Sixty grams of rice vinegar. And last but not least, a bit of white pepper. And a good pinch of salt. Now we can get rid of the scale. And we whisk this all together. You want to whisk a little bit so that the sugar dissolves completely. So give it a minute or two. I'll give it a try. Extremely good. It's like a spicy sweet and sour sauce, you can say. Now we can put that to the side and we'll prep the wings. Not the wings, we're not making wings, we're making thighs. Prep the thighs. And I won't bore you too much with this because I've done it plenty of times. You kind of want to look for the cartilage parts. You can tell they're a bit harder. You see that's a little bit here. Just go in and cut it out. You just have to feel it with your fingers. Sometimes they're a bit slippery, but just use your fingertips. And now I'm leaving the skin on, and we're just gonna quart these. That will be the perfect size for us. If you don't like the skin, remove it, but cut your chicken. I have 3 pieces here. It's enough for about 4 people as kind of a starter or a snack. I think these 4 pieces were close to half a kilo. But finish prepping your chicken and then I'll show you what we'll continue with. So we prepped our chicken. I'll put on a pot of oil. Be careful not to fill it more than halfway. So we'll probably have to do it in 2 or 3 batches afterwards. And now we have our starch. We're just gonna coat it in starch. Make sure that there's not too much excess. We can put them on the side. So finish coating them, and then we'll see if our oil is hot enough so we can start frying, but then we'll move over to the stove. So just rest them on the edge like that. And while we wait for the oil to come to temperature, it needs to be 170 degrees Celsius. We can just chop up our coriander as preparation for afterwards. I chop it with stems and everything because I really enjoy coriander. If you don't like, there's a lot of people that don't like coriander, just leave it out. But I think it adds to the dish. Once you're done cutting it, you can just put it in a container. And put that to the side. Now let's move over and see how hot the oil is. So let's check our oil. It's not yet there, so you can prepare some kitchen paper or you can dry off your chicken thighs afterwards. And we'll wait for this to get to 170 degrees. I can show you, if you don't have a thermometer, you can also do with a wooden chopstick, and hopefully you will see the small bubbles. And once you see those forming relatively quickly, you know that it's hot enough. Now let's get our chicken in. Be careful. I will do 6 at a time, should work. And you see now why I only filled it to half, because it really tends to kind of bubble up. Get some movement in there. Now you just have to wait until they turn golden brown. And you can see golden brown color. They're not going to be completely golden brown. I don't know how easy you can see it, but it's there. So we're there, we take them out, put them on the kitchen paper, and then we do the last batch. Now make sure that the oil comes up to temperature again before you put in the chicken for the last batch. But I will cut here and we'll move the camera again. So now let's prep this chicken. We've dried it off with kitchen paper. We're first adding some salt to them. And then we add a bit of our sauce. And the rest of the sauce we pour in another cup so that we can serve it on the side to dip in. Just clean that up. And now the coriander. And then we toss it to kind of coat it in both the salt, the coriander, and the dirty sauce. Now that's perfect. Now, before we serve this up, you see I just took kind of an oven, what do you call it? Oven paper, non-stick paper, whatever, and put it in a bowl, and that's what we serve it up. But before we do that, if you stuck with me this far, there must have been something you enjoyed about this episode, so do me the huge favor and hit that thumbs up button. It takes you a second, but it's worth a lot to me, because it really helps me to get my content out there in the YouTube universe. So, thumbs up. But now, let's just pour these over. Like so. And then we just top with some fresh coriander. And that's it. We can dig into our dirty chicken thighs with the sauce on the side. I'll just get my chopsticks. Let's get in here. This is dirty. It's really kind of a spicy, sweet and sour. Has a nice hint of sesame. It's difficult to even talk. And don't miss out on the coriander unless you really hate it, because the coriander adds a nice freshness to it as well. But that's pretty much it for today. I hope you enjoyed these dirty thighs. I sure did, and I really like saying the name because I think it's a nice name for a dish. Yes, the original recipe is with wings, but then you have to eat it with your hands, and there's bones in there, and I just prefer thigh meat. It's easy, there's no bones. You can cut it as big or as small as you want to. Perfect. I hope you enjoyed the episode. That's it for this time. I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.